Sean posted an Instagram with both photos and text. "Thank you, boss, for celebrating my birthday with me." Sean is my wife's assistant, and the photo shows him together with my wife. Today is Sean's birthday, and it's also mine. I had made arrangements with my wife in advance, asking her to set aside her work and spend my birthday with me. She said she was busy. Looking at this post published a minute ago, I dialed my wife's number. "Where are you?" My tone wasn't pleasant. "Still mad?" My wife's voice came through the receiver. "Is it really that big a deal over one birthday? You know the company is growing. Right now I'm in Chicago meeting with Mr. Peterson. I can't make it back." "Alright, you go do what you need to." I hung up the phone, zoomed in on the photo Sean sent, and recognized the restaurant where he was eating. I decided to head over there. I wanted to see exactly how Chloe would explain herself in such a messy situation. In New York, there's a quiet cobblestone alley that hides a small restaurant. This place doesn't operate publicly, it's a culinary sanctuary reserved solely for me and Chloe. On good days, Chloe and I would come here to eat. On bad days, we'd come here to ease our worries. Mr. Rossi excels at Tuscan haute cuisine, and his cooking perfectly suits Chloe's and my tastes. Dining on Mr. Rossi's dishes here is our way of drawing a clear boundary between Chloe, me, and the outside world. This is our secluded paradise. I never bring friends here to eat, and neither does Chloe. This is our unspoken understanding. But today, she broke that understanding. The photo Sean posted on Instagram was of this very place, and he was sitting in the same spot I always used to occupy. I drove to the end of the small street and saw Chloe's car. So this is what she called being busy. I sat in my car for a long time without getting out, feeling both stinging pain and anger inside. It seems that with the Miller family's rising dominance these years, Chloe has increasingly stopped taking me seriously. Then let her see whether the man she once relied on has truly become useless. I got out of the car and stepped into the alley. "This is delicious, and this one's not bad either." Sean commented on the dishes on the table. He pointed at Mr. Rossi standing nearby and said, "Hey, Rossi, make another portion of what I just mentioned, packed to go." Mr. Rossi seemed displeased. Even when I visit, I always address him respectfully as Mr. Rossi, and I never ask him to prepare extra dishes. As Mr. Rossi often says, cooking is an art. What to make and how to prepare it depends entirely on his mood. Every time I visit, he surprises me. However, Mr. Rossi doesn't cook repetitive meals. Even for simple dishes, if he prepares them a second time, he must incorporate variations and changes during the cooking process. Mr. Rossi looked at Chloe. He wasn't angry, he was just giving her face. "Sean likes eating it. Hurry up and make it," Chloe said calmly. "Make what?" I walked in through the door. Seeing me enter, Chloe's expression visibly stiffened. "Mr. Carter." Sean hastily stood up upon seeing me. I wanted to ask Mr. Rossi to prepare some more dishes to take back for my father to try. "What kind of VIP is your father that he deserves to taste food prepared by Mr. Rossi?" Sean clearly hadn't anticipated me being so blunt. He gave Chloe an awkward glance, hoping she'd intervene for him. Chloe had never seen me behave like this either. After a brief silence, she glanced at Sean. "You'd better leave for now." Sean responded and then looked at me. "Mr. Carter, I'll take my leave now." I ignored him. Sean slunk away, and Mr. Rossi glanced at me. "I've learned a new way to make birthday pasta. I'll go prepare it first." I watched Mr. Rossi. "I'll come to your kitchen to eat in a bit." Mr. Rossi nodded without another word. When he left, he made sure to close the door behind him. Chloe finally spoke up. "Don't you think what you just said was too harsh?" I sat down staring at her. "Too much? Lying to go on a business trip, celebrating Sean's birthday with him, is this how you interpret the word too much? Or do you think that with my abilities and methods, merely cursing someone's surname Shao a few times would be considered excessive? Shall I show you what crossing the line really means?" "Don't do anything reckless, there's nothing between us," Chloe hurriedly interjected. She continued, "Sean grew up without a mother, he comes from a single-parent household. Because of that absence of maternal love, he craves care from women deeply. He said I reminded him of his mother from his memories, mentioned how he never had his mother with him for birthdays growing up. As his boss, I thought it wouldn't be unreasonable for me to accompany him on his birthday." My expression turned icy. "I've heard of gold digging, but I never expected you to have this weird fetish for becoming someone's godmother." "Jason Carter, don't you think that's too harsh? You act disgracefully yet expect me to speak kindly?" I knew my emotions were running high, but I still tried to rein them in. "Forget it, let's not talk about this anymore. If you want to chase thrill, then let's get divorced." Perhaps the word divorce struck a nerve with Chloe, as tears welled up in her eyes. "I just accompanied him for his birthday celebration. Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of it? Today is also my birthday, and you've made your choice, haven't you?" Chloe lowered her head. "I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Fire him. He's always been diligent and hardworking at his job. You always say we should give newcomers a chance. Just because I had a meal with him, you're firing him? That's not fair. I promise I won't have any private contact with him from now on. only work-related interactions. Meet me at City Hall tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I stood up, not wanting to waste any more words. Deep down, I knew her choice to have dinner with Sean today was her decision, choosing him over me. Now she was still defending him, making it clear this marriage isn't worth continuing. I just wanted to give the newcomer a chance. Chloe stood up to stop me. I'll transfer him to a branch office. He shouldn't bear the consequences alone just because I had dinner with him. If we really fire him, what will people think? She grabbed my hand and said, "You're overthinking it. I genuinely feel sorry for him. We don't have a baby yet, so my maternal instincts are overflowing. How about, we try for a baby tonight?" Not in the mood. What exactly do you want from me? Just because I had dinner with Sean, you insist on divorce? Don't you trust me at all? What kind of place is this? My voice turned noticeably colder. No third person has ever entered here. This is our private world. This is our sanctuary, a place where no outsiders are allowed, yet you brought Sean here to dine. You're crossing the line. I'm sorry, I didn't think it through. Don't be mad, okay? Mr. Rossi said he's making you a special birthday pasta. Let's go try it. I promise I'll never bring anyone here again. I promise. Mr. Rossi's birthday pasta was absolutely delicious, but it couldn't soothe the anger burning inside me. I was still furious, like a territorial beast disturbed by an intruder, restless and irritable. I didn't let Chloe accompany me. Seeing her now turned my stomach, so Mr. Rossi stayed by my side and we had a couple of drinks together. Mr. Rossi looked at me. "Don't think me nosy," he said, "but the recent rumors aren't favoring your Carter family. I'd advise maintaining good relations with Miss Miller. If the Carters ever face real trouble, the Millers could lend a helping hand." I downed half a glass of whiskey and asked, "Mr. Rossi, why do you think Chloe dares to act like this?" Mr. Rossi fell silent. He understood that Chloe's current behavior stemmed from those outside rumors. The Carter family was about to collapse, and she was beginning to bear her claws. I continued, "Once the rumors are confirmed, Chloe wouldn't even apologize today, and the divorce wouldn't be initiated by me either." Mr. Rossi remained silent. He knew I was right. He silently drained a full glass and muttered, "People's hearts aren't what they used to be. If it weren't for your family pulling the Millers back from the brink, the Millers would have become history long ago." I smiled. I can raise the Miller family up, and I can just as easily bring them down. Mr. Rossi merely glanced at me, knowing full well it was nothing but a fantasy of mine. Every piece of news from the outside world only proved that the Carter family was about to become history, and many were waiting to see them become a laughingstock. On this point, I didn't offer much explanation. A decision gradually took shape in my heart. I would use Chloe's incident to show everyone whether the Carter family would fall. Back at home, Chloe took the rare initiative herself. She was wearing seductive pajamas, but I couldn't muster any interest. During the first year or two of our marriage, she went out of her way to please me because her family needed my help and the support of the corporation behind me. But in the last 2 years, the Miller family has climbed out of the mud and continued to rise steadily. She no longer takes the initiative, and my repeated overtures have been met with cold indifference. On the rare occasions she agrees, she lies there like a dead fish, making me disgusted with myself at times. It's easy for people to forgive themselves, but hard to forgive others. I had long held reservations about this relationship, and today was no exception. Faced with her sudden initiative, I chose to reject her. I went upstairs to sleep in the bedroom and locked the door behind me. Lying in bed, I realized that Chloe and I had started sleeping in separate rooms 2 years ago. My last memory of intimacy was from 6 months ago. In the past, it was her who locked the door. Today, it was me. In the morning, she unexpectedly prepared breakfast and was already sitting at the table, waiting for me. I ate quietly, keeping it brief. I could see she wanted to talk, but in the face of my silence, she ultimately didn't speak. At noon, I got a call from her mother, saying that the two of us hadn't been to her place in a long time, and she wanted us to come over for dinner that evening. She gave me a reason I couldn't refuse. My parents would be there too. I'm sure it must have been Chloe who called, trying to mend things between us. Rome wasn't built in a day. Her inviting Sean to dinner yesterday was merely the last straw that broke the camel's back, completely igniting my fury. But last night I thought it over, and divorcing just because she treated Sean to a meal would indeed be somewhat frivolous. I'll see how she behaves from now on. During dinner, Chloe handed a project proposal to my father. "Dad, take a look at this proposal for the Southern District Development Project." My father took the proposal and studied it carefully. "Excellent, very thoughtful. If we follow this proposal for the Southern District Project, we can maximize profits. I'll take this proposal with me today and go through it more thoroughly." Chloe said with a smile, "Dad, you can't just take a look. Your support is crucial for this project to proceed smoothly." I fully understood our family still held its final value to exploit, which was absolutely vital for the Southern District project. That was why she dared not completely break ties with me. During dinner, I didn't say much, nor did I reveal any conflict between Chloe and me. The dinner was lively, with a great atmosphere, yet only Chloe and I knew that beneath the surface, We were united in appearance but divided at heart. I had some drinks, so she was the one driving me back. That proposal was made by Sean. Even your father approved of it. His work abilities are truly outstanding, he's a real talent. I invited him to dinner just to try and retain that talent, honestly nothing more. I thought tonight's dinner was meant to improve things between us. Seems I was overthinking. You actually don't want to fire him, do you? Jason Carter, you're being paranoid. I'm just trying to keep real talent for the company. Don't let his recent graduation fool you. Many firms are competing for him. Sometimes you have to offer special treatment to retain such talent. If he said he'd only stay if you handed me over to him, would you comply with that too? You're being unreasonable. Chloe's face turned frosty. If we fire him, we can't use this proposal. I don't know how to break this to your father, you tell him. Ha, I laughed coldly to myself. So this was their little game all along. Talent? What a joke. Elite universities churn out graduates batch after batch. When has this society ever truly been short of talent? What's scarce are platforms. Since she wants to play games with me, it's time to show her exactly what kind of man Jason Carter is. Let her see whether I still have any leverage against the rising Miller family. Early next morning, I went to the company. If she wouldn't fire Sean, I would. At 9:30 a.m., while sipping tea in my office admiring the Hudson River view, the door was flung open violently. Chloe angrily slammed a contract onto my desk. Jason Carter, what do you mean by this? We've already agreed he's talented. I even showed the proposal he drafted to your father. Why are you still firing him? Chloe, do you really think I don't see through your little scheme? Why didn't you mention it was Sean's proposal when you showed it to my father yesterday? Even if you scribbled all over that proposal, my father would still praise it a few times, because you're the Carter's daughter-in-law. You really think his proposal was that good? I threw a document in front of her. Take a closer look at this. Chloe picked up the proposal I'd tossed over, the same one she'd given my father yesterday, now nearly covered in red marks. The underlined parts need revisions. As for the circled sections, those nonsensical parts completely contradict the Southern District project. How dare you show this to my father? The proposals you had my father review always ended up back in your hands with revisions, right? Those were all my edits. This time, my dad also asked me to help revise yours. Whether Sean is talented remains uncertain, and your capabilities as CEO are debatable. Chloe didn't hesitate to stand her ground. Even if Sean's proposal isn't perfect, it still has merit. He brings fresh ideas to the table, exactly the kind of talent our company needs. Jason Carter, I hope you can bring Sean back. Don't forget, you're currently serving as Chief Operating Officer of Miller Group, while I'm the CEO. As COO, you have no authority to directly fire my assistant. Should I just ask him to come back then? My voice was icy as I stared directly into Chloe's eyes. The Miller family's influence has been growing steadily, and it seems Chloe has figured out many things over these past 2 days. Now it's just a matter of whether she brings up divorce. Chloe didn't. She just turned away in anger. Just as I expected, my family still has value to her, and she's not willing to give up that benefit yet. But clearly, she had no intention of making things easy for me either. She upped the ante with even more outrageous methods, escalating her attempts to provoke me, once again testing my limits. Sean has posted on Instagram again. Recognition from the boss, I'm officially hired. Before this, Sean was just an intern at Miller Group. He took a photo of his signed full-time contract at Mr. Rossi's little diner. Clearly, Chloe knows exactly how to get under my skin. She took Sean there again. This time, I didn't call. Some things only need to be done once. The first time I called her, there was still a glimmer of hope in my heart. This time, there won't be. I didn't make the call. Instead, Mr. Rossi's call came through. Jason, I wasn't planning to make this call, but after some thought, I felt I should tell you, I'm leaving. Leaving? Mr. Rossi, what do you mean by leaving? I'm a little tired and would like to see the world too. Let someone else take over that little restaurant. Mr. Rossi, I understand. I'll see to it that the wrong done to you is set right. Jason, it's not what you think. I'm genuinely exhausted. Please don't let this affect your relationship with Ms. Miller because of me. After ending the call, I headed straight to the small restaurant. Inside, I only saw Sean. He immediately stood up when he noticed me enter. Mr. Carter, it was Ms. Miller who said my proposal was good and wanted me to become a full-time employee of the group. I swear I didn't do it on purpose, and there's nothing between Ms. Miller and me. I couldn't be bothered with him. Where's Chloe? That old man Rossi wasn't happy with me. Said he didn't want to cook for me anymore and left. Miss Miller insisted on cooking herself. I couldn't stop her. His demeanor was humble, but his tone carried an unmistakable hint of provocation. Chloe cooking for Sean? Couldn't even be bothered to pretend anymore. Just as I was about to look for Chloe, the click-clack of high heels approached from down the hall. Mr. Carter, I'm sorry, I know I was wrong. Please don't hit me. Sean suddenly screamed, then grabbed a bottle and smashed it against his own head until blood appeared. How ruthless. Jason Carter, that's enough. Chloe yelled at me, carrying a plate of food. You apologize to Sean right now. Sean, how affectionate. I walked over and picked up the bottle that had fallen to the ground, still intact. Whack, I smacked Sean hard on the head. Now you can scream. Jason Carter, don't you think this is too overbearing? Chloe glared at me. Mr. Carter, I'm sorry, truly sorry, I was wrong. Sean bent over, playing the meek subordinate to win Chloe's sympathy. You're not wrong. Chloe moved to support the swaying Sean. I'll take you to the hospital first. Rest assured, this matter won't end here. I sat alone in the small restaurant and dialed my father's number. Dad, I feel a bit choked up inside. Father remained silent, so I continued. Over the past 2 years, as the Miller family's business has been flourishing more and more, the warmth between Chloe and me has been fading. A couple of days ago on my birthday, she chose to accompany a subordinate who shares the same birthday as me instead of coming home to be with me. Because I made a scene, today she personally cooked for that subordinate. I feel the Miller family has grown too big for their boots. Just give the order. Father said only 4 words. My mood improved considerably. Clip the Millers' wings and let them fall to their deaths. Not long after ending the call with my father, Chloe called, telling me to come to City Hall. Half an hour later, the two of us met at the entrance of City Hall. Chloe had changed her outfit, standing as proud as a white swan. Sean was there too, his head bandaged, but his gaze toward me brimmed with provocation. In this emotional contest, he believed he had won. But would someone like Chloe really act on emotion? Chloe looked down on me with a condescending attitude. Jason Carter, I see you still don't understand the situation. The Carter family is about to fall. I'll give you one last chance, kneel and apologize to Sean right now, and I won't seek a divorce. This time, Sean stopped pretending to be meek. He stood straight up and said, Jason Carter, Chloe and I just received the news. The Carter family is finished. Kneel and apologize now, that's your only way out. I didn't speak and walked straight into City Hall. Chloe froze in place. She hadn't expected me to be so resolute. From what she'd heard, the Carter family was truly on the verge of collapse. She should have been my last lifeline right now. Had I begged her, she could have spun this into an opportunity, maximizing my family's value. The Millers would have climbed even higher by capitalizing on this. My defiance caught her off guard. Sean glanced at her and said, Jason Carter's just bluffing. Walk in there, and he'll come crawling out. Chloe could only proceed this way for now. It'd be more troublesome if she sensed that I wasn't planning to divorce immediately. Except Chloe never noticed any change in my attitude from start to finish. The process was swiftly completed. 10 minutes later, we emerged from the City Hall, each holding a fresh divorce certificate. Sean stepped forward quickly. Congratulations on your freedom, Miss Miller. Chloe reached out and touched Sean's face. Does it still hurt? Sean's voice trembled with excitement. It doesn't hurt, not at all. He kept staring at me as he said this. Come on, let's find a place to celebrate. Chloe grabbed Sean's hand and walked toward that car. I turned away as well. Two people who once shared a pillow now walking in opposite directions. Chloe was still waiting for me to beg her. She counted silently in her heart, but I never spoke. Just as I was about to open the door and get in the car, Chloe turned and looked at me. Jason Carter, you'll definitely come back begging me. I checked the time and smiled. Your phone should be ringing right about now. She froze, and sure enough, her phone rang at that exact moment. Chloe, the Carter family's downfall is fake. Her father's first words left her frozen in place. How could the news of the Carter family's collapse possibly be false? After repeated verification, this matter had been confirmed. The voice of her father continued from the phone. It was the Carters who deliberately leaked the news to address internal issues within the group. Cut ties with that Sean immediately, and make sure Jason Carter doesn't find out. Chloe hung up the phone and glared at me. Jason Carter, even at a time like this, you still refuse to back down? How long has it been since we last had a proper heart-to-heart talk? We've been sleeping in separate rooms for nearly 2 years. Didn't you notice something was wrong? Even when I deliberately provoked you with Sean, you'd rather get divorced than admit you were wrong? Chloe's tears began to fall. You're so domineering. I just wanted you to admit fault once. I know I can be temperamental sometimes, even unreasonable. Home is where love lives, not where logic rules. Can't you, as a man, be a little more forgiving? Chloe hurried toward me. If you won't back down, then I will, alright? I just wanted to use Sean to make you jealous, who knew you'd actually come to City Hall. Sean, come here and explain to Mr. Carter. I was just using you to upset him, there's nothing between us. Sean hadn't heard the specifics of that call, but through Chloe's behavior, he'd already grasped the situation. He hurried over and said, Mr. Carter, it's true. Some time ago, Miss Miller approached me asking for a favor. When I heard it was about your relationship issues, that's why I agreed to help. If you don't believe me, there's audio and video footage of this. Chloe anxiously added, yes, precisely to avoid misunderstandings and ensure clarity later. I recorded the entire encounter with Sean, both audio and video. My expression remained calm, but inwardly I sneered. As for my family deliberately leaking news of our downfall, it was never about restructuring the company, it was all about my marriage. There are couples who share weal and woe, and there are those who fly apart when disaster strikes. I'm about to take over the Carter family business, so choosing a spouse is of paramount importance. Seeing my silence, Chloe pulled my hand with grievance. Don't you trust me? I withdrew my hand, took out my phone, and opened a video. Maybe you should watch this first. Chloe was viewing the video content on my phone, her face gradually turning pale. Her office was at the top of the corporate building, a private space where no one could enter without permission. This place was absolutely confidential. Whatever happened here would remain unknown. The video showed her and Sean in intimate moments. You acted it out before me, but were you really faking it behind my back? My voice dripped with sarcasm. This woman before me made me sick. Jason Carter, you're despicable, installing surveillance in my office. What right does a cheating, marriage-betraying bitch like you have to accuse me? I grabbed my phone and turned to leave. Just as I was about to get in the car, Chloe spoke coldly. Jason Carter, don't think the Millers can't survive without the Carters. The only reason I'm giving you this chance to maintain our marriage is because of the Southern District project. But if we divorce, the Millers can simply walk away from this project, and your Carter family doesn't have what it takes to handle this project alone either. Then let's wait and see. With that, I got into the car, but I wasn't in a hurry to leave. There was still a good show to come. As expected, Chloe's phone rang again. She answered the call, and her expression gradually darkened. Not only had something gone wrong with the Southern District project, but many of the Millers' business partners had already requested to terminate their collaborations. The bank had also called. Not only were the recent loan applications by the Miller family rejected, but now several banks were demanding repayment as soon as possible. What terrified Chloe the most was that the audit team had entered Miller Group and frozen its assets. This ominous sign of an approaching storm made Chloe's heart palpitate with dread. Do you mean the Wallaces have jumped into the fray too? Chloe asked with a darkened expression. Correct. The Wallaces' young miss has personally entered the scene, saying she wants to help Jason Carter vent his grievances. New York's two prominent families, the Carters and the Wallaces, count them among their ranks. Recent rumors suggested the Wallaces intended to swallow up the Carters, that the Carters were being gradually consumed by the Wallaces. Only now did Chloe realize the Wallaces had been playing along with the Carters in an elaborate charade. Neither family was one the Millers could contend with, and with the Wallaces now involved, Chloe felt as though the sky had come crashing down. Closing her phone, Chloe strode quickly in my direction. I stomped on the accelerator and the car lurched forward. With the window rolled down, I turned my head to glance at Chloe. Jason Carter, hear me out, Chloe shouted as she stared at me. Ignoring her excuses, I sped away. Chloe. Sean hurried forward. You still have me. Slap. Chloe's hand struck Sean across the face. You're nothing to me. You're replaceable, just like anyone else. I just needed someone to provoke Jason Carter. Do you really think you're that important? Chloe couldn't possibly genuinely like Sean. She might be playing around, but her real intention was undoubtedly to provoke me. With my family about to collapse, she deliberately found someone to make me beg her. She wanted me to make more concessions and transfer the Carter family's assets to the Millers, hoping to gain more benefits from my surrender. Too bad her clever scheme fell through. Just a few hours, and the Miller family's market value evaporated by tens of billions, and this was just the beginning. Chloe could sense the capital manipulation happening behind the scenes. She knew it was the Carters and the Wallaces pulling the strings, yet against their sheer scale, she was powerless to do anything. At this moment, she finally realized just how terrifying the Carters' power truly was. At this moment, she also recognized her own foolishness. That evening, Chloe and her parents came to my home. Their expressions visibly stiffened when they saw the other guests there. Faye Wallace was present. She's the eldest daughter of the Wallace family, 7 years my junior. Having just graduated from university this year, she's rather strong-willed. I once saved her life, after which she declared she'd marry me as repayment. Back then she was just a child, and I treated it as a joke. Yet after graduating, her first act was to come to my home and demand I get a divorce. I hadn't installed surveillance in Chloe's office. Faye was responsible for that. The reason she urged me to divorce was because she'd witnessed Chloe's affair with Sean outside. That's why she went to great expense to install monitoring devices in Chloe's office. I got hold of the first-hand evidence, and only then did they come to me demanding a divorce. After entering the room, Chloe shot a glance at Faye before fixing her eyes on me. Jason, I'm pregnant. You're going to be a father. It was like a bombshell had dropped, instantly transforming the atmosphere in the room. During these years of marriage with Chloe, my parents had long been yearning to hold their grandchild. 2 years ago, Chloe said she was too busy with her career to take care of a child and was worried that pregnancy would affect her work, so she never considered it. Later, as the Miller family's momentum grew stronger while mine showed signs of decline, having a child was even further out of the question. In response to Chloe's words, Faye spoke up instead. How many months alone? A hint of pride flashed across Chloe's face. Almost 2 months. They say secrecy ensures success, that's why I didn't tell anyone. I was planning to surprise Jason, but it seems now isn't too late either. Oh, Faye stared at Chloe. Sean's child? What did you say? Chloe flared up, turning to me. Jason Carter, Aren't you going to say anything when your wife is being slandered like this? I remained silent as Faye continued. It's been half a year since Jason last touched you, hasn't it? Chloe's face darkened further as she glared at me. Jason Carter, are you planning to deny your own child? If you refuse to acknowledge this child, I'll get an abortion right now to spare myself this humiliation. No one expected Faye's next move. She suddenly stood up and kicked Chloe squarely in the stomach. Back when Faye was in middle school, she was kidnapped. It was me who rescued her. Since then, Faye had trained relentlessly in martial arts. The force of her kick sent Chloe crashing against the wall before she finally came to a stop. Want to abort it? I'll help you, Faye said coldly as she picked up a golf club. Before Chloe's parents could react, she stepped forward and struck Chloe's belly twice. Still not down yet? Enough! Chloe's father shouted urgently. He wanted to step in but hesitated, remembering Faye's status. Faye tossed the golf club aside and sneered. Your child's quite resilient, isn't it? Still won't come out. Chloe's face turned pale. She wasn't pregnant to begin with. How could anything be aborted? Mr. Carter, Chloe's father demanded. Chloe is, after all, your family's daughter-in-law. How could you just stand by and watch her be treated like this? Facing Chloe's father's interrogation, my mother spoke up. In the past, a woman like her would have been publicly humiliated. She should be grateful she lives in modern times. My mother's voice was icy. The moment she learned of Chloe's betrayal, if I hadn't intervened, she might very well have taken extreme measures to deal with Chloe. Oof. Chloe's father scoffed coldly. The Carters are such a powerful family. This is just a case of give a dog a bad name and hang it. I think you've wanted to form an alliance with the Wallaces through marriage all along. His voice grew increasingly colder. Old Carter, after all these years as comrades, you pull this trick on me. Isn't it disgusting? Shameless bastard. My mother stood up and flung a document in Mr. Chloe's face. See for yourself. The Millers were truly desperate back then. If not for our family's financial and resource support, the Millers would have been history years ago. All these years, the Millers have relied on our connections to conduct dirty business dealings. Their business partners were filled with complaints, and we were the ones cleaning up the mess behind the scenes, compensating the partners to keep them working with the Millers. During this period, the Millers made repeated attempts to poach our key business partners, but their poor reputation backfired. Our partners all reported these incidents directly to us. My parents chose to turn a blind eye because of my relationship with Chloe. After seeing this document, Chloe's father lost all ability to distort the truth. His expression remained icy as he retorted, Old Carter, do you really think your Carter family is clean? I've got something in my hands. If you really won't leave the Millers any way out, then it's mutually assured destruction. Now give me a straight answer. Let those two remarry and we'll pretend nothing ever happened. Otherwise, we'll see who comes out on top. My father looked at him. By something, you mean recording and filming my son when he was drunk? Ever since the Millers rose to power, they've been playing dirty, trying to get some leverage over our family to keep us in check. Chloe's father repeatedly invited me to his home for drinks, probing indirectly while I was intoxicated. If I got drunk enough, he'd ask some utterly inappropriate questions. Chloe's father's face turned cold. Those who accomplish great things don't sweat the small stuff. Since you're aware of this, you'd better give me a satisfactory answer today. My father didn't speak, choosing instead to stand up and leave. Moments later he returned carrying 2 bottles of high-proof whiskey. Without saying a word either, I immediately opened the bottles. Under the gaze of Chloe's entire family, I drank both bottles dry. My father finally spoke up at this point. Does he look drunk to you? At our level, we have to be cautious about many things, especially drinking parties. Jason started specialized training at 6, not quite able to drink 1,000 cups without blinking, but handling 2 or 3 liters of hard liquor is no problem. My father squinted at Chloe's father. At your place, how many bottles of whiskey has he drunk at most? Did it reach 2 or 3 liters? Chloe's father turned ashen. He knew the evidence he had must have been deliberately fed to him by me, probably fabricated. My father continued, today, I'm giving you leverage. After speaking, he looked at me. I snapped my fingers. Sean was brought in, covered in blood. Kneeling before me, he pleaded, Mr. Carter, I know I was wrong. Truly I do. Please, spare me. I placed a trash bag over Sean's head, then picked up the golf club Faye had thrown. Watch closely. You can take out your phone and record all of this. My voice was icy as the golf club came crashing down on Sean's head. 1 strike, 2 strikes, until his pleas for mercy finally ceased. Why did I stop my mother from using those extreme methods? Because some punishments must be delivered personally. Love may fade and marriages may end, but betrayal during the sacred bond deserves no forgiveness. Chloe's family panicked as they stared at Sean lying motionless. They wanted to leave, but the doorway was blocked by several burly men. Old Carter, what's the meaning of this? Chloe's father glared at my father, his voice trembling slightly. We're old comrades. Yeah, old comrades, my father replied, his expression turning colder. Remember when I took a bullet for you on the battlefield? But what I never expected, he continued, was that even if I hadn't blocked it, Someone else would have. That bullet was meant for you anyway. A war photographer captured everything the moment you tried to pull me in front of you. Some comrade you turned out to be. And, 2 years ago, my wife and I nearly died in a car crash. The investigation later revealed that someone had tampered with the brakes of that car. If the driver hadn't desperately controlled the vehicle, if he hadn't chosen to crash into the mountainside, I might have been long gone. The protruding mountainside meant the driver had almost zero chance of survival. Any normal person would have steered the car in the opposite direction, sending it plummeting off the cliff as you intended. You never expected that driver would choose to die just so I could live. His last words were, "I haven't lived enough yet." My father stood up and took the golf club from my hands. These past few days, I finally uncovered who sabotaged that car, my dear comrade in arms. Spare me, spare me. Chloe's father knelt and begged for mercy. Chloe and her mother finally realized the problem. This conflict was more than just a ruthless business competition. The next day, a news story dominated the headlines. Chloe Miller of Miller Group, fearing investigation, chooses to end her life by jumping from a building. Upon learning of the incident, her parents drove to the scene but died in a car accident due to speeding. The Miller's story became part of the past, while my own story continued onward. Half a year later, my wedding with Faye Wallace took place in New York, a globally sensational event. Meanwhile, I assumed control of the Carter family business. The Miller family had long faded into the dust of history, while the Carters and Wallaces charged toward new heights under the rising sun. The end.